I do besides listening to different live streams and just trying to stay away from the toxicity because after everything I've been through, I can't anymore. Just been so traumatized. I have a
I
hard time
bet.
sleeping at night. I have nightmares. I mean,
Um,
and people don't understand that I have feelings too, like everybody else. People just don't realize half the hell I have been through. And the hardest thing is, I lost my dad 5 years ago this Christmas. I helped raise me growing up, so
mhm.
I have that to still deal with. I have been through a lot of trauma, and
Yes, you
no one
have.
understands.
Y-
What bothers me the most is every
mhm.
time I try to find a new way to start of getting into positive things or finding a way to be happy, it's always being taken away from me. And it all got taken away from me every time I have ever tried to do anything positive. Just give up. I give up on ever trying to find myself any happiness. And for me, I think what happened is I just dove into the wrong situations and just ended up getting myself into more trouble. I got myself into some bad social circles and it ended up being what it is. And I am just now trying to move out of that swamp and
Mhm.
just try to start doing better for myself.
That's good. And I agree with you. I think there's some opportunistic people that got into your close circle and they kind of took advantage of you and it all kind of went
Exactly.
yeah, it went the wrong way. But we can always turn that around and go the right way.
I also want to make another thing clear when it comes to everybody in that community and this
Uh-huh.
community. There
Uh-huh.
are certain things I'm going to say right now that I'm going to choose not to discuss. I am on probation for the next several months. I have
Oh,
16 and a half months to go. And again, there are certain things that I have to follow from the court.
uh-huh.
And I was told that when it comes to that particular situation, it is not to be discussed.
Wow. Well, you'll
Because
get through it.
that subject, again, I'm just being told by the
Nah,
court and everybody else that that particular subject is not to be discussed.
is what a lot of people are trying to do on a daily basis. I say ice
Exactly.
them out. Well,
Okay.
I'm glad your probation officer is giving you good
Actually,
advice.
I don't have a probation officer per se. This is just through the court. It's
Ah,
basically called a bench probation. That's part of the issue is, again, particular parties here in that community over there, they are constantly trying to bait me and set me up to get me into more trouble, and I want no part of it. Me too. It's my newest craft, and again, when I did the one I did at my church, I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun.
well, that's awesome, Mrs. P. Are you going back to church or are you going to take a little break?
No, I was told to stay away for a while because, again, I don't know directly who it was.
Right, because your church has been contacted too, right?
Yes, it has, and that's we got a call from the bishop the other night. We got a big lecture about everything that's been going on, and they've been getting phone calls from Noodle Mash's people in her chat.
But somebody within the trouble community contacted my church and told my church a bunch of stuff about me and my husband. And we got a call from our pastor here about a week ago. And I was severely lectured. And my husband and I, we were told not to come back. There was even a call to my church last week. Even my church had a phone call last week because I got a knock on the door from my church pastor. And I was told that I did something that
Does
I
somebody
never
put the
even did.
timestamp,
And
please?
so
You know, they're really trying to hurt me where it counts. Well, getting back to the phone call that my church received last week, like I said, my pastor came and knocked on our door, and we had to sit him down and explain everything to him. Said that from here on out, he's going to ignore any and all future reports. If there's something major, then he'll actually come to my home and directly talk to me personally. But he says from here on out, don't worry about it, because he actually tried to make nice with whoever it was that called him, and he said, look. And he said, look. And that person actually started cussing him out. And he doesn't go for that, because being a Mormon pastor, we're very against foul language. Again, there's a certain group of people that are just really out there that really want to do everything they can to really hurt me. And you know what? I'm not scared anymore.
Well, that's not very. Jesus doesn't approve of that. I could guarantee that. That sounds like you could. There's probably a better congregation somewhere than that. I mean, oh my God.
At this point, I just pretty much have given up on ever having a spiritual life. And again, somebody had to be out there to ruin it for me. Again, no matter what I try to do in the way of positivity, it's just always taken out from under me.
On the road, something happened, and it just all got taken away from me.
How did it get taken away?
We're not going to go into that subject, thank you.
Oh, no.
Robbie?
But, yeah.
I was going to say, the reason Mrs. Portland did away with her crafting channel is because of the other person in the legal battle.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the reason Mrs. Portland did away with her crafting channel is because of the other person in the legal battle.
Right, yeah.
I was going to say, the reason Mrs. Portland did away with her crafting channel is because of the other person in the legal battle. See, I'm allowed to talk about it and mention her name because it isn't against me. See, I'm allowed to talk about it and mention her name because it isn't against me.
Well, here's another thing that's happened, Tiffany, is not just my church has been contacted, but my family, my bank, where my disability checks were going. My husband and I had to change banks.
Oh my God.
They have contacted my apartment manager. They have contacted my Section 8 housing. They have contacted my state caseworker.
And just so everybody knows, because this sounds like a lot, I can tell you that Mrs. P is not exaggerating or being dishonest about this.
They're trying to get me and my husband to lose our home. I mean, you know, my family has been contacted.
Terrible.
I'm just gonna ask everybody, please, if you don't like me, I get it, but stop going real life on me and my husband and just leave us alone. And my husband and I are constantly stalked
I can't even go outside of my own home and go across the street to the grocery store without someone knowing about it. And my husband still gets emails all the time saying, well, we know where you're going and just know you're being watched.
Like some people need to
My
get
husband
away.
has had to change his email several times over because of this too. And it's like, like I said, I can't even go outside my own home.
You and Walter should start doing those cooking shows again.
Well, we will, because right now we're kind of in the midst of packing the move.
So you guys are moving. That's right. You told
Yeah.
me. Oh, gosh.
We have no other choice, really. We don't really want to move from here, but again, our safety is always at great risk. So, we just feel really unsafe continuing to live where we're currently at.
It's gotten so bad that Mrs. Portland is so friggin' scared of her to walk out our front door, afraid that somebody's gonna come and beat her up because of all these stalking people on Noodle Mash.
You know the person
Hey.
messing.
And that's why we're looking at getting out of here. And I'm just going to say something right now. If I was to make my email public, I don't want any more harassment. I don't want any more threats. I don't want to be pushed around. I don't want to be knocked down. I don't want to be bullied or harassed.
Yep.
I am done. I have medical in-home care until my husband and I can physically get moved out of here.